So we've talked about the 10 movies I hope are really good. Now it's time to talk about the 10 that I know will be garbage. And this might end up being a short video because a lot of these I don't even really have to explain because you all probably know what's on the list and you all know why. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it, starting off with you know it, you hate it, and I know you're dreading it. It's Snow Brown and the 7 CGI Abominations. Or as Disney's pretending that it's Snow White. Yeah, I don't even think I need to elaborate on this at all. You saw the trailers, you've seen the PR nightmare this movie's been, Rachel Zegler in particular, to the point where the director, Mark Webb, I can just tell is putting his head in his hands and saying, what the hell did I sign on to? So, yeah, I don't even need to elaborate on that either. Nor do I really need to elaborate on the next one on the list, which is the Minecraft movie. Like, what the hell even was this? The trailer for... I already knew this would be bad, but had this been an animated movie, maybe I would give this more of a benefit of the doubt. Not just because it seems like the animated video game adaptations seem to do a lot better, like Super Mario Bros. Did very well, and Uncharted was not that great, just for a comparison's sake. Although I did have Five Nights at Freddy's 2 on the best list, so we'll find out what happens there. But this movie looks like one of the cringiest things I've ever seen. Jason Momoa looks absolutely ridiculous in a pink jacket and long-haired wig. That's not emasculating at all. And it doesn't help with the presence of Jack Black. This movie's going to suck, and you know it. And then, again, the next one... I can just tell you the title and you'll know exactly what the problem is. It's Pooniverse Monsters Assemble. I can't believe I live in a world where there's a movie called Pooniverse. Again, that sounds so dirty, but this is supposed to be the big Avengers crossover for the Twisted Childhood universe, which is apparently getting 4 movies this year, and you might as well throw all 4 on the list, but I didn't want them to take up half the list. The other ones are Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, which just came out, and I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to soon. Maybe, depending on where it ends up. Pinocchio Unstrung, and Bambi the Reckoning. And considering how bad the 2 Blood and Honey movies were, I don't have high hopes for these movies. And this one in particular just sounds like a stupid idea all the way around. So no, I'm going to be dreading this. Next up is another live-action remake. This one looks to be a shot-for-shot remake, and it's How to Train Your Dragon. I've seen this one trying to be hyped up by shills of the animated movie, and if you're a fan of the animated movie, the trailer that was released should be goddamn insulting, because again, it was nothing but recreated shots from the original. We all saw what happened with The Lion King, and it's going to be the exact same thing here. This is why creators of the original of something should never be brought back, because... look how many times that's blown up in the studio's faces. Diary of a Wimpy Kid was a disaster. Percy Jackson and the Olympians was a disaster. This is going to... There was a reason why I was okay with the original creators of the animated Avatar show leaving the live-action remake, even though the live-action remake ended up sucking as well, because I was hoping we'd get something new with that show, which we ultimately didn't, so maybe the creators wanted to do something new, and Netflix just wanted a recreation of the animated show. Sorry, I'm constantly adjusting the mic. The shirt's kind of bent down a little bit, so it's like... There we go. But yeah, this is going to be another Lion King. Nothing else needs to be said. Next one up is Avatar, Fire and Ash. And by the way, these aren't in any order except for the top 4, obviously. The rest of them you could put in really any order and it doesn't really matter. But I hate the first 2 Avatar movies. I hate James Cameron, and I know this is just gonna be the first movie again, just with some kind of fire society. That's what the last movie was with that water place. I barely remember a damn thing about the second movie. It was so goddamn boring. So yeah, it's just because I don't like the first 2 movies, I know I'm gonna hate this, and it'll probably be another 2.5 hour boredom. Oh boy, next one is probably the only controversial pick on the list. Well, there might be another one on here later, it depends. And that's Superman. because it's DC. I don't put faith in DC anymore because they haven't made a legitimately great film since Shazam, which was almost 6 years ago at this point. And also it doesn't help that it's being written and directed by James Gunn, who, yes, made the Guardians of the Galaxy films, but outside of that, what good thing has he made? Oh, he wrote the crappy live-action Scooby-Doo movies. Yay. Oh, he made the Suicide Squad. I'm gonna tell you straight up, that movie sucked. I was even too nice in my review saying it was mediocre. That movie sucked. It wasn't funny and relied solely on the R rating. This movie, and the trailer we got didn't even look that good. It was just a bunch of visuals and quick cuts, which is the kind of trailer I hate the most outside of the ones that show you fucking nothing. But I just don't have faith in DC. Especially after The Flash. I don't have faith in this company to make anything good. Prove me wrong, DC. Go right ahead. I just noticed my hair's kind of got the Superman curl now, like there. That wasn't intentional, but good timing, I guess. Next one up is Pixar's Elio. And I know Pixar just made a really good film with Inside Out 2, but this trailer that came out a long time ago, because this movie was supposed to come out last year, looked awful. It was one of the worst trailers I've seen for a Pixar movie ever. And that's coming from off of a long losing streak for Pixar, of a lot of shitty movies, and they finally made a good one, Inside Out 2. It looks like they're gonna fall back into a slump. Who knows, maybe that Win or Lose show will be good, because they're cutting out some of the woke crap out of it. So maybe they can save that show, and maybe that'll be the saving grace for the year for Pixar. I don't know, but this movie just, there was no, deep reason why this one sucked like I had for a lot of the other ones. It just looked, the trailer just looks awful. So, yeah, nothing else. Next one up is the only other one on this that could possibly be controversial. Although, I don't know, there are plenty of shills for other crap there'll probably be people that bitch about the How to Train Your Dragon pick. But it's Jurassic World Rebirth. And for the very simple reason is that none of these movies have been good outside of the first film. I mean, Lost World wasn't the worst thing ever, but it still wasn't good. Then Jurassic Park 3 was terrible, and all the Jurassic World movies were shit. So, why should I believe that this one will be any good just because it had Scarlett Johansson? You take away the characters from the original, so even the people who like those films, this is basically just a reboot now because you don't even have the characters that they got attached to with the other ones. I mean, maybe it'll be better than the other ones since this is basically a reboot. I don't know. We'll just have to find out, but I don't have hopes for it. I don't have high hopes for it. Next one up is The Smurfs. Yeah, did you know there's another Smurfs movie coming out this year? It's coming out in July. I'd be shocked if anybody else other than me knew that. But, again, it's the very simple fact that the Smurfs just isn't that great of a franchise, I'm sorry. I can tolerate some of the older ones and everything, but the live-action films were absolute garbage, which, big shock, that was when those live-action remakes were at their peak, I guess, when they made a lot of money and people actually put up with them, though that seems to not be the case anymore. And then even Smurfs The Lost Village, which came out almost 8 years ago now, was also really bad. It was just slightly better because it didn't have any live-action bullshit going on to it. So, yeah, again, it's just, again, because it's part of a bad franchise, I don't expect it to get any better. So that's really the only reason. And then last one up is Star Trek Section 31. Now, there are other films I could have put on here, but the trailer for this movie looked absolutely awful. And Star Trek has been a dead franchise for, pretty much ever since Star Trek Beyond bombed, and they brought in Alex Kurtzman to basically run the entire franchise after bringing in Jar Jar Abrams, who admitted to not being a fan of Star Trek, to reboot Star Trek basically as Star Wars. I haven't seen those first two movies that he made in a while. I should rewatch those. I remember Beyond being alright, but I don't remember. But it bombed at the box office. They've been trying to get a fourth one off the ground ever since, which I don't think is going to happen because, again, the third movie bombed. I don't think the fourth one would do any better. And this movie looks just it looks like more strong female lead woke propaganda garbage that I'm not going to be able to stand. It's just pure it's pure streaming slop. That's what this movie looks like, and so yeah, that's what I'm anticipating to be the 10 worst movies of the year, and there'll probably be others that take up spots on this list, and some of them will be dropped. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Smurfs even made the list at all at the end of the year, but I guess we'll find out when these movies finally release. So that's all I got, and I'll see you next time. Bye.